I think the things that young people are concerned about at this age, who am I? How do I get to like where I'm going and to figure out my purpose and what are the next steps? And so for me to walk alongside them is to help them figure out like who you are.
In Campus Renewal, and every student sent a community-based platform connects students to churches and ministries.
That's right, and they're kicking off a back-to-school event called Mobilized for the Mission. And here to tell us more is Jeremy Story. He is president of Campus Renewal. Tell us a little bit about the work that you guys do with every student sent and why it's important, especially right now.
Sure, of course, it's because the school year is beginning again for college students. And one of the largest issues that we have, I believe, in the church is the transition of youth into adulthood and the discipleship process we have there. And what we find is that right now, students that are leaving high school out of our youth groups and whatnot across the country, Christian youth groups, Christian ministries, most surveys nationally, any of them, depending on what you look at, range between 50 to 70% of those students. Some will say as low as 40, but still it's pretty significant. 40 to 70% are walking away from their faith in college. And then other surveys are showing that those students are not coming back because culture does not bring them back anymore like we previously could count on. I don't think we probably should have ever counted on it, but it's exceedingly important as students transition to college. Those first few weeks and months of college really shape a significant part of their future.
College life tends to shake up what students believe about religion. Studies show that higher education often challenges the traditional views that people have about religion, making them more open-minded, uncertain, and individualistic. When students encounter different beliefs, developing their thinking and learn secular ideas, it can change how they see spiritually. Some studies say that change isn't a big deal, while others show that it actually weakens people's strong religious beliefs. But because these studies have some gaps, it's hard to say exactly how college affects what young adults believe about religion. Figuring out how college shapes what people think about religion is tricky because there's a lot going on. Established in 1867 as a centenary biblical institute by the Methodist Episcopal Church, Morgan State University initially trained men for ministry.
It expanded its mission, becoming Morgan College in 1890, offering education to men and women as teachers. Renamed in honor of Reverend Littleton Morgan, it awarded its first baccalaureate degree in 1895. A grant from Andrew Carnegie facilitated its move to Northeast Baltimore, where Carnegie Hall was erected. In 1939, Maryland purchased the institution to expand educational opportunities for Black citizens. Morgan became open to all students of all races and evolved into a comprehensive institution.
We don't take no mess. We get mad in a minute. Stop you in your chest. What did you say? Mess. We don't take no mess. We get mad in a minute. Stop you in your chest. What did you say? Y'all gotta move out there. We get mad.
Now, folks, this is strictly kids stuff, this little story we're going to tell, but I think you'll like it. That's the reason why we're telling it. We want you to see these youngsters in action, fellows and girls from all over the United States that come to the Young Life ranches. They have a lot of fun. You'll see what I'm talking about in just a minute. I wish I had time to tell you how we got these beautiful places, Star Ranch, Silver Cliff, and Frontier Ranch. Well, it all seems like a succession of miracles to us. We never dreamed of any such thing. Actually, the most beautiful ranches that you can imagine, dedicated to these kids that come to us from everywhere. There's something else I want you to know. And this is very important. Young Life is a mission. Our whole objective is to see to it that these wonderful high school boys and girls have a chance to know the truth about the Bible and about the wonderful Savior that is presented here. You remember how long ago when he was here, he said, "I am come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly." We believe that with all our hearts. You believe it too, don't you? But do you know that there are millions and millions of young men and women growing up in this privileged nation of ours who have never once thought of such a thing? That God is real and personal and interested in them, and that he has a way, a wonderful way of life that clicks, that matters more than anything else, and that will bring to them the very things they want most. Why, we've got to find some way to tell them about these wonderful things. That's what Young Life is all about. The ranches are just one little phase of this great program that reaches out across the nation, but a very vital and important phase. And I want you to see how it works. So, here's the story. I hope you'll like it.
Young Life began in the 1930s when Clara Fraser prayed for teenagers at Gainesville High School in Texas. Jim Rayburn, a young seminarian, later started Young Life, aiming to share the gospel with adolescents. It evolved into energetic club meetings centered on Jesus Christ. They emphasized genuine connections, contact work, spending time with kids, and camping became pivotal. It expanded globally, embracing diversity and addressing various needs. Today, Young Life's legacy persists. Friendship and Jesus offered to youth seeking connection and purpose. At Morgan State University in 2018, Young Life stepped in when religion seemed to be fading among college students. It became one of the many Christian groups on campus offering something deeper than the usual college scene. Led by Joshua Goodman, Young Life teamed up with folks working to make a difference.
I get to work with young people and help them learn more about Jesus and more about themselves and develop their walk and their purpose and who they are. And so we lead Bible study and we have club on Tuesdays and we go to camp and we have volunteer work and outings and so many things, so many fun things.
So before moving to Baltimore, I was a high school teacher. I was a high school teacher for 11 years. And I really, really love that age group, like the teenager, young adult age range. And so when we moved to Baltimore, I was looking for ways. I knew I wasn't going to be teaching anymore. I was looking for ways to still be involved with that age group on some level. But my husband knows Goody and introduced us, and then I got connected to Young Life through that. And I was like, yes, this is a perfect opportunity for me to be able to volunteer with this age, this people, this season of life, and then also be at a HBCU because I love HBCUs, the culture, the support, the love, all of that good stuff.
Somebody invited me one day, and ever since that, it was my sophomore year. Ever since that day in my sophomore year, I haven't missed a meeting, and it's my senior year now. So just the good energy, meeting new people that I would consider friends that I want to last after college.
In this spot of Young Life, I have walked with people through nervous breakdowns. I have Lily knows, my daughter's here. There's a young woman who I used to call and literally wake her up every day to get out of bed. Otherwise, she would be in bed with depression. I have sent people food. I have driven them home. I have somebody waiting for me now to take them home. I do interviews for students. I come on campus and just take people to lunch and hear about their problems and help them with their schedule. People in Young Life who are also sociology majors get advised before everybody else because they just come on by and I advise them. And there's just a lot of ways to be where young people are. I think the things that young people are concerned about at this age, who am I? How do I get to like where I'm going and to figure out my purpose and what are the next steps? And so for me to walk alongside them is to help them figure out like who you are and how can I literally help you get to the next step? How can I give you an internship recommendation? How can I invite you to a Bible study? How can I drive you someplace? How can I loan you money? Like there's a lot of ways that I have had the opportunity to be with young people where they are.
I feel like one of the key things that Young Life is bringing to the table is consistency. And as a young person in college, there are a lot of things you have to navigate on a day-to-day basis. But Young Life is we have a consistent presence. We meet once a week. We have our Bible studies. For the most part, the same leaders are there each week. Like we provide a consistent stability for the students, and I think that's super helpful because as you're trying to grow and walk in your faith, you need that. You need people who like know your story, who are asking how you're doing, how is your relationship with your mother or your sister, who like have that intimacy with you and really demonstrate a level of care for what you are experiencing. And so I think that's been important for us to remain consistent with our students. And then also too, like, we really have a genuine love for them and a care and want to see them grow and succeed. But we also want them to be authentic and be themselves. And so we don't put pressure on students to be a certain way. Yes, it is a faith organization, and that's a priority. And we talk about God all the time, but we also are very much about meeting the students where they are. And so they don't have to put on airs. They don't have to act like they're in a certain place that they're not spiritually. It's like, hey, if you were at step 10 today and you're trying to get to step 20, we're going to help you get there. But we're also going to love you at each step in the process. And so I think that's super important for the students as well.
I think the role of Young Life, because we have so many ministries affiliated with the chapel, is we're like the non-judgmental, like churchy group. And the funny thing is, I was a churchy-ish kid. So like I'm down with all the like Campus Crusade for Christ and campaigners, and like I get that language. But a lot of people aren't speaking that language. And Young Life is in the gap. So we meet young people where they are. We were just talking today about being known and loved regardless of where you are in your story and what your story is. And so that's what Young Life is. We meet kids where they are. You don't have to know church lingo or church language or have a church background. You don't have to have a sanctified playlist. You don't have to dress a certain way. You can do whatever. And we're still going to have fun with you. We're going to bring you joy. We're going to give you some hugs and some smiles and some Jesus and love on you until you're ready to take those next steps with Jesus.
And when I mess it up, you say your love's enough. You say you'll never leave or forsake me. And when I come undone, you are the only one to say you hold me now and forever. I will never be the same.
Reporting live from Morgan State University in Baltimore, I'm Morgan Lewis. Keep that flame of faith burning bright, just like the awesome crew here. Until next time.
When you rolled the stone away, when you walked out of the grave, you were standing in the